transfer to Bharat.
Yeah, thanks, Chandra, and thanks to TechGeek team for giving the opportunity us to present this webinar, and thanks Moini for giving the brief introduction about for me. So before going to this effective cost management, I just would like to add one more feature, which is actually since interest of time we have not included many more slides about RQM. But there is one more feature called a project area, okay, where if say your, if your different project team is working and they have a different set of test artifact, okay, and then there is a RQM an option, okay, also different team is working in different project area, okay, then there is an option in RQM where you can define the different project area, and for each project area you can define the test artifact. And for each project area, we'll have a test cases, test plan, test steps, test suite. Okay, so you can define n number of project area, and for each project area, we can define a number of project properties. Okay, and all the test artifacts. Okay, so this is only for the information. Moving to next, the slide number 18, which is about the best practices. This is something which again, this I would say like feature of RQM, but how we can use in our project, okay, or how we have used in our project, okay, that's something we are sharing over here. This is one of the very good feature of the RQM, like you can define the category for each of the test artifact. Okay, category is basically an attribute of the test artifact. When I'm saying the test artifact, it means like test cases, test suits, or test plan, or test scripts, okay, or test suits, execution record, all are in RQM, it is a test artifact. So how it will be helpful? Okay, it will basically help to group all these test cases, test plan. For example, say if we have a test cases which is part of say UAT. Okay, so you can define that this is a phase is a category, okay, and that phase have a value called unit acceptance. So whenever you define the test cases, okay, you can associate the test cases with the UAT test. Okay, as well as you can define like n number of categories for a module, for a product or release. Okay, I'll give you one more example. Like here, there is an option where you can define the multi-valued category also. For example, say if your test case, which is again I'm giving same example, say if test case is part of system testing phase as well as part of UAT phase. Now you want to see a report like which say okay, which are the common test cases which is part of my system testing as well as UAT. So you can define that category phase which is a multi-valued. Okay, where you can have two options to select. Currently, you guys showing in combo box like which is highlighted with only one option. Okay, but if the category is defined as a multi-value, and you can have an option with a checkbox. Okay, so you can select both the option. Okay, so that way you can define this category. As well as the category also, you have to it will help you to defining a reporting part also. It will help you to filtering your test case artifacts. It will help to group the artifacts. As well as you can define the subcategory also for each of this test artifacts. Basically, you can define the parent-child relationship, and as well as I think just one second. As well as you can have, if you want to filter this categories, then that is also option is available in the RQM. Yeah, next. Yeah, there is one more feature called weight. So weight is basically again is an attribute. Okay, but what again I'm sharing our project experience. Like weight is basically define the complexity of the test cases. Okay, where you can define it's basically a numeric number only. How it will help. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, how it will help. So, for example, say if client says that I want to, if we have a 500 test cases, and if you want to, client want to understand like what is the execution time, how much time it will take to execute 500 test cases. So in that case, actually this is a real scenario, like it was in our project, and it was asked us that give the execution of this many 500 test cases, how much time it will take. So what we have done, like we define the weight attribute each of the test cases based on the complexity. If it is a simple, okay, then this is my weight. Okay, if it is a complex, then my weight is a 500, or if it is very complex, then my weight is a 1000. Okay, so based on that, actually we define, okay, for this is test cases, weight is 100, then it will take say 2 minutes. If the weight of test cases is 500, okay, then it will take 4 minutes. Or if there's a 1000, then in that case, this much time will take to execute test cases. So based on the category, again, like we have defined, we have defined the grouping of all the test cases. We have calculated the weight, okay, that how many weight for the 100, how many for the 500, and how many for the 1000. And based on that, we actually come up with the estimations that this is how, a total to execute 500 test cases, this much time it will take. So basically, it is not addition of weight, okay, but it is basically defining the how you can define the complexity of the test cases, and based on that, you can define the timings. Okay. One more, like so in the real scenario, actually, what we used to do is like we define the test suite, and for each test suite we have a test cases, and for each test cases we have a test scripts. Okay, so say if you can define that weight at suite level also. So if we have say 2 test cases and 2 test cases which is part of one test suite, okay, and when you run that test suite, in that case, like either we can run both the test cases, or only we can run the one test cases, okay, and for some reason we are not able to run the test cases, then it will give you what is the execution progress, that how much that test suite has run. Okay, so here that will also help you to understand like what is the execution progress of your test cases. So this is also something we can define by using a weight attribute. Okay, as well as it will help you into for the report also, if you want to know report that what is your execution progress using the weight. Okay, then in that case, like if you see here on the x-axis, which is say total weightage, and the y is basically categories. Okay, so here, like say for a functional, it is showing that there are weight we have 400 that already passed. Okay, and there are weightage for this 400 which is still it is blocked, or it is, legenda is given in the bottom. So it will give you a progress of all the test cases using the weight also. Yeah, Chandra, can you move next? Yeah. There is one more feature called snapshot, which is basically it's related to creating a version. Okay, but it's not really a true version management. Okay. If we are say working on any test plan or test cases, and like if you want to create a copy of it and you want to maintain the backup of the old one, in that case we can create a snapshot. But snapshot is basically a non-editable. Okay, we cannot modify anything in the this snapshot copy of the test artifact. But in case you want to refer the old copy of the test artifact, then we can go to the snapshot copy and we can have a look at it. Okay, whenever you create a snapshot, basically it will copy all the data of that test cases or test plan to in the new test artifact. You can create a snapshot either in the same project area or in the different project area. Okay, in the same project area, if you create and it will basically it will give create a reference of the previous test artifact. Okay, for example, like if we have a test cases and the test cases associated with the test scripts, and if you create a snapshot of test cases, okay, then it won't create a new test scripts. It will refer the test case which is already existing for that particular test case. But if you are creating a snapshot in a different project area, then it will create the other attribute also. Okay, so this is something which we have used, like, I mean, many times it was happen like we want to maintain the old copy, okay, of our test plan or test cases, okay, then instead of, rewriting the, or instead of overwriting the same copy, we used to maintain the version by using the snapshot, okay, and then we create a new one. But only thing is we cannot, after creating a new one, if you want to, move to the old version, then it cannot be done. So, but this is based on our requirement, like it was very helpful. We have created a number of snapshots for in our project. So we thought that this, but thought to just give the idea that this can be used for the version, or for maintaining the version. Going to next about the copy utility. So if you want to create the copy of the test artifacts, okay, then there is a very simple option where you can copy the basically you can create a duplicate of the test cases or test plan. So again, the same project area or in a different project area. So like if test cases is also have a link with the test script, and when you copy the test cases, okay, then it won't create a new test cases, but will create a reference with that test scripts. Okay, so this is also a very powerful features. Like if you want to say copy 100 of test cases, or if you want to copy a duplicate 100 of the test cases, then just select the option in the RQM, like do a browsing of all the test cases, select all the 100 test cases, and just click on the there is one option where you can say that you want to create a copy of 100 all the selected test cases. So just on a single click, it will create all the copy of 100 test cases. Yeah, this is something like one test scripts for one test cases. RQM actually allow to add for one test cases, it will allow you to add number of test scripts. Okay, you can add a number of scripts you want, but when we do for the execution, okay, like when we execute our test suite, and if we have another test suite for test cases, then it will execute only a one test script. It won't execute the multiple test script. Okay, so actually what happened, like in our project, we initially we have defined that, okay, this is n number of test cases we have created, and that we associated one test cases. And when we try to run the test suite, then we figured out, okay, that is not something possible. Only we have to execute only one test script will run one at a time. Okay, but then later on we'll find out that why they have given the option. Okay, so it's for example, if you want to execute the same test script in a different platform, okay, like in Linux or Windows, okay, in that case this scenario will help. Okay, then we can select them manually and then we can run this test scripts. Okay, but it is recommended that use only a one test script for a single test cases. Okay, so it will if you have multiple test scripts for a different or if you have one test script you want to execute in the different platform, in that case you can define two test scripts and then go ahead with the executions.
Yeah, one more point I like to add here. Like why there are two different scripts exist is your automation script may differ for Linux or Windows for both the platforms. So in that case, you would need to have two different scripts, and those two different scripts should be attached to same test case, because test case is the same, but your automation or your manual scripts might differ. So in that case, you can have two test scripts attached to one test case, and at runtime you can select the scripts which you want to execute in respective platforms. And it's recommended. Okay, it's strongly recommended. Okay, you should use only one test script for one test case. Even though RQM provides the flexibility of attaching multiple test cases, and this is one scenario where you can use multiple test scripts.
Yeah, good example, Chandra. Yeah. So moving to next slide. Yeah, about this entry criteria and exit criteria. As Chandra already explained, okay, that how what is the purpose of exit criteria and exit criteria, okay, and why it is run, okay, and how, and like in our daily, documentation, we also used to do mention, okay, this is how many test cases needs to be passed if you want to be entry, and this is a number of the severity defects should be closed before entry or before exit of any test plan. So beauty of his is like, we actually here don't have to see don't have to check manually. Okay. For example, if you define that entry criteria, okay, for a test plan, that like as you're mentioning in the screenshot, that number of open severity 1 defects should be closed, okay, before going to the next stage, okay. And if we in the beginning of only we define that this is many different 10 defects should be closed, okay. Then this actual value, okay, what it will do actually, it will connect to RTC, okay. It will verify whether how many defects are actually closed or not. Okay, if the expected value and actual value it is not matching, then the state will become unsuccessful. Okay, whenever this this both value will be, basically it will verify, okay, that whatever we mention in the exit criteria is it same or not, okay, by connecting the RTC. So basically check or it will verify the value of expected and the actual value. If it is yes, then the state is successful. Okay, so basically we don't have to manually have to check, okay, whether we are passed for the entry criteria or not, or whether we meet the exit criteria or not. Okay, here after, this will be possible by integrating with RQM with RTC. Okay, this already, if you part of CLM and the both are integrated, but after doing this this integration, you can easily connect, RQM will connect to RTC and will verify, okay, whether this entry criteria is meeting or not. Okay, so this is one of the very powerful feature, okay, which also we have used in our projects. So this is one of the best practices which I feel that it can be used in other projects also. Yeah, Chandra, move to next. I think we have already, yeah. Okay, using keywords, test data, and execution variable. So keyword is basically nothing but the reference point for the execution of step. It's basically if you have a test steps or test script which you want to reuse in another test steps, okay, then we can use this keyword feature. For example, like if we have a login logout test script which is going to use multiple times, okay, then there is a feature called keyword, okay, where you can drag and drop, okay, we'll show in the next screenshot, and then that can be used multiple times in the test scripts, don't have to write the same steps again and again. Okay. Test data, which is already covered by Chandra, is basically simply set of records. So basically CSV file. Okay, in CSV file we can define all the different test data. Okay, and all this test data can be used for that particular test script. So this is basically a data-driven testing, and which is already covered by Chandra. So I'm not going in details. Okay. About execution variable, it's basically like in our programming, like we define like global variable and local variable. So concept is very similar here also. Okay, you can define this execution variable at test case level, or you can define it at script level, or as well as you can define it at suite level. Okay, but whenever you define this execution variable at a test script level, then it will be available only for that particular test script. It cannot be used in another test, scripts or in another test artifact. But if you define the execution variable at test suite level, okay, and same execution variable is defined at test case level and at test script level, then you can pass the, you can use the same execution, you can pass the execution variable value to the test suite or test case or test script level. Okay, so here just example like we given that login script, if login name is stored in a variable, okay, then it can be used in another script to finding out login details. Okay, so this is also one of the good feature of the RKM, and this is also used in a number of times. So, I mean, again, this based on the project requirement can be used, but consider this execution variable is basically a global and local variable kind of thing. So, moving to next slide. This is just a small example. Okay, like how we can use the keyword feature. Okay, so whenever you create a test script, okay, these are the 2 steps. Okay, and if you want to use these 2 steps in another test steps, okay, multiple times, okay, then just drag and drop on the right hand side, okay, and you can create the name. Okay, so whenever basically give the label. Okay, so when you create a new test script or when you are creating a new manual steps, okay, then just drag and drop a login step. So automatically the step will be created for you. Okay, you don't have to create once again. So basically reusing of this, we can use the reusability feature. Like we can reuse basically a test script for another test scripts. Yeah. So moving to next, this is the last slide. Okay, it's basically about the topology. Okay, there are different topology actually which is shared by the IBM. Okay, like evaluation topology, enterprise topology, okay, and department topology. But based on our requirement, based on the project requirement, it can be used. Okay, like for the large deployment, okay, like we have deployed across the globe. So in that case, like we recommended to go for, it's recommended from the IBM to go for this deployment. Okay, very detailed, very detailed and very informative given on the jars.net site also. But here is basically we can have RTC installed in one machine, Rational Quality Manager installed in one machine, Rational Requirement Manager, Composer installed on one machine, and basically and each of them have a WebSphere application server. Okay, each of their own database. Okay, and JTS basically it can be there also can be installed in another machine. Okay, so each 4 application server, for a requirement manager JTS we can share the database. Okay, but for each of other applications, that is ECM and QM, we have different database. Okay, and as well as a data warehouse. Okay, so this is one of the topology. Like, and if you are deploying for a large team, okay, or if you are going to define across the globe, okay, and based on number of users, you can decide to go for this topology. As well as there's a very good article given in the jars.net about server sizing. Okay, if you want to do like how to decide like hardware basically how to decide like what is the RAM you want to go for it, or how what is the hard disk space is required. Okay, so in that case, like there are, based on the calculation or based on the test artifacts size, we can define that this, and based on the number of user, okay, we can define like, how about hardware sizing. So in the time of interest, I was not going in details, but this is the